Oh, I'm sorry.
What is...
Yeah, go. It's fine.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? I'm BDLM, coming to you with my buddy J4Y, bringing you a scrim of the Dota Talk team. Yet again, what is going on, man?
Not much. Keeping it professional, as we always do here with our intros and whatnot. You can totally blame me for that start. But nonetheless, I have to keep making sure these delays are good, because in the past I have failed at delaying, and I do not want to be that guy. So I'm good. How are you doing on this fine morning?
I'm doing pretty good. I just realized I should also probably close Pandora so I don't get any lag issues. So yeah, I'm doing pretty good. Unfortunately, we haven't had our first professional game yet, but this is going to be it, and I'm very excited that we get to follow this Dota Talk team around some more.
Yeah. You know, obviously they've been playing like pretty good recently. Like I've been saying, we've seen them a few times. You know, they've gotten a pretty decent, similar strategies, I guess you could say, in their games. But maybe they'll mix it up a little bit. Maybe who knows? Angel won't go for that Enigma that we normally see on him. But either way, I'm sure we're going to be in for something interesting or fun.
I gotta say, I'm actually more looking forward to seeing what the other team does, because at least the games that I've been here to cast with you, the enemy team hasn't picked a jungler, and they have no way of really recouping the loss that they sustain. Or I guess they can't keep up with the advantage that Dota Talk is gaining because they're running somebody in the jungle, picking up extra farm, picking up extra experience. So I actually want to see if they're going to be able to pick a strategy, whether it be, tri-lane or just a really early aggressive push if they don't run someone in the jungle. I just really want to see them be able to do something to keep up.
Yeah, that would be definitely cool, indeed. And actually, first ban going to Dota Talk, and we don't know the name of this other team. It's usually they get these random scrims. I keep putting them as unknown. I feel bad for that because I'm sure they have a name. I really am. But until that that clan or team system gets implemented into the game, we're not actually going to be aware of who these people are. So, team unknown, number 3. I guess we'll call these guys. Actually, look at these bans. I swear, every time we scrimmed them or casted them, it's been the same thing. Darkseer, first ban. Lycanthrope. These at least are the most common bans I've seen in any game.
Well, I mean, it's really hard to blame them, and I mean, we kind of say this every time these heroes get banned. Lycanthrope, difficult to deal with. You really have to play differently against him. You have to try and keep tabs on the jungle. You have to try and keep him limited, keep his farm down. And Darkseer is just a hero that's so good at turtling, a lot of teams just really don't want to deal with him, and that's something I can certainly sympathize with.
Yeah, I've already discussed how I despise Darkseer. He is just such a powerful hero and really difficult. Broodmother, another bread and butter ban. Actually, he's not banned in every game you see, though. Some teams are not as afraid of his pushing potential, especially if they go here's like Sand King or Windrunner, people that have really good lane pushing and control, that kind of thing, that aren't afraid of those silly broodlings, but actually, oh, Nature's Prophet ban. Oh, there's another shocker for you.
Yeah, trying to limit that map control, just being able to be anywhere you want to be. Chaos Knight, now the last ban. I think these are pretty much the same 3 bans that I saw, at least the last time they played.
Do you know what this means? So far, Wispy is not banned.
Yes!
Wisp,
there you go.
Rubik,
That's
Luna, all available.
Yeah, I don't think that happened the last time that we actually got to cast at least a high competitive game. That wasn't really a good phrase. A high, what's the word I'm looking for? Upper tier team.
What are you looking for? I don't know.
The creme de la creme of the teams. We didn't really have those options available.
Or no?
Yes, the crop of the crop.
The cream of the crop.
All the crops. Crop squared. And now we actually have a Queen of Pain banned out. So try and take out that high mobility mid hero capable of dealing a ton of damage.
Definitely. And here we go, eating into the bonus time now. They get first pick, so they get dibs on any hero except for those 6 in the game currently. I'm assuming we're not going to see one of the new heroes, but then again, if they've been practicing a strategy with, let's say, Rubik, who honestly, I expect Rubik to start entering the minds of these drafters now, especially if you figure, maybe he'll be used more of a counter pick if Enigma is in the pool or picked up in the game, because obviously Enigma getting with Rubik, I mean, you can just steal that pretty easily. The AoE for that is not large like Tidehunters, and he doesn't have a lot of quick spells he can cast off in succession, so it's actually pretty easy to steal. But Brewmaster actually could be their first pick, and I know they love to run that hero in general.
I mean, how can you blame him? That hero is just so good at being able to do a lot of damage inside of team fights, the mischance, as well as crit and dodge. So he is a strength hero that really actually has some potential to carry, and of course, with the ultimate, can really run around and wreak havoc. On the other side of the board, though, two very nice picks, Invoker and the Leshrac, so a lot of spell damage coming out from them, and then Shadow Demon picked up on the Dire side with a Chen, so there's the jungler on that side.
That is interesting indeed. You know, Chen obviously a very powerful hero. He was used all the time back in the first International, as well as kind of earlier on the scene. Then he was used throughout, and actually Enchantress is kind of the counterpart to the Chen. Also another hero that's great at picking up those neutral minions to use at their will. Good for pushing. Chen, though, his ultimate in combination with a mech, it's just fantastic healing. If your team doesn't die and he can get both those off in a team fight, you're pretty much reset the fight for your team, which is just amazing.
Yeah, Chen's one of those heroes that typically doesn't get a lot of farm, but if he does start putting items together like Mech, like Aghanim Scepter, he certainly becomes a powerful hero when it comes to team fight and when it comes to the push. But, you know, Enchantress, widely regarded as sort of the counter to the Chen pick. We have a couple bans coming out now. Lone Druid, can totally agree with that, as well as the Enigma, like you were saying earlier, against Angel. Always a good decision to try and ban him.
Absolutely. Definitely not a bad choice. A couple more bans left in the pool. I'm trying to see what these teams have and what they need. Invoker, no question in my mind, going to go middle. You know, Leshrac plays support pretty often, but could also be, you know, someone that gets the farm. Enchantress, no doubt in my mind, going jungle, I would have to think. So they're probably going to need either a support or a good side solo. Windrunner's still on the table. I would think Windrunner would be a good pickup for their team. You know, maybe even like that hard carry or semi-hard carry to get the farm in the bottom lane.
Yeah, she actually gets banned out. So not interested in that, because, you know, I was actually just about to say, you look at the Dota Talk team, and that's actually what they need. They need a couple of solos. So they're like, okay, we got to take out the Enigma to mess with Angel, and we also have to take out a side lane solo. Because, you know, Enigma could do that just as easily and keep good tabs on the lane with the denies using the Eidolons.
Yeah, we're going to have to see how this goes. The Sand King, definitely, I agree. I mean, another great support hero. It's beautiful initiating. Can work so well with different heroes. Now, I mean, I don't know. We're kind of stuck with the It's going to be hard to predict who they really want to pick up in this case. I mean, Dota Talk, you know, with the Brewmaster, Shadow Demon, and Chen, they have a good support, a great jungler, and then Brewmaster could go middle with the Shadow Demon, or he could even go short lane and get massive farm. So they have a lot of different options at their disposal. And with Queen of Pain also banned out, I'm not sure who they'd want to run on the solo lane that's really safe. Like you said, or did you mention the Beastmaster would be a good pickup in this case?
I was actually just thinking that. I think, honestly, on either side of the board, Beastmaster could be really strong. Maybe more so for the Radiant team, but we're actually going to see the Dire pick up Weaver. So a pick we actually haven't seen in a while, at least I haven't, being in that sort of carry that's very difficult to kill with the Shibupi, as I coined it, so long ago now, and Night Stalker picked up for the Radiant team. I really do like that. You know, we look at that lineup, that's something that they definitely needed, somebody who can initiate and be tanky up in the enemy team's face. So that's going to, the silence there has the potential to really mess up the Weaver as well as the Brewmaster, and Bounty Hunter actually the last pickup, and this could be really nice and something that we know I was talking about Chen. The fact that if he is able to get some gold, he can be very powerful in the later parts of the game. Bounty Hunter using that track is going to generate some additional gold for the support heroes like the Shadow Demon, like the Chen, so very nice there.
So I think the laning for them is pretty obvious at this point. You're going to have Chen in the jungle, Weaver on the long lane, trying to get farm, Bounty Hunter in the short lane with maybe Shadow Demon supporting, and then Brewmaster mid. I think that's pretty obvious. Maybe Bounty Hunter and Brewmaster could switch it up, but I think that's going to be the call for the most part. But now Night Stalker, he's also really good against Bounty Hunter, both Weaver and Bounty Hunter, because of that silence. I mean, they both can't use their invis or their safe moves, and at that point they could be in a lot of trouble.
It's a weird matchup because the track does reduce armor, and that's the big part of Night Stalker that makes him so tanky. So being able to put that on him means that the meat shield that the Radiant have is going to be a little less effective, and he might not be that big of a threat. And when you consider that they have the Bounty Hunter and the Weaver, they're going to have a lot of auto attack damage to be able to try and pour on to take out heroes very quickly.
Yeah, I don't know who they're going to go with this 5th pick. I mean, I still feel like they could use someone in that long lane. I still don't think they have a great person that can handle that lane. Shadow Shaman going to be the pickup. Okay, interesting. So I guess they're going to maybe they'll send Leshrac or someone in that long lane and just hope he can get some kind of farm down. I mean, they're going to have a jungler as well as maybe a Shadow Demon running around with them. So it's going to be hard to get farm in that lane either way. But maybe that's what they're going to do. What do you think?
I gotta say, I really do like this Radiant team. When nighttime hits, it's going to be crazy. Because as soon as Shadow Shaman hits 6 as well, they're going to have a ton of pushing potential. And I'm imagining that this Invoker is probably going to wind up going Exort build, which means he's going to have global presence. So nighttime hits, they're going to have a lot of potential to gank, and then they're also going to have a lot of potential to roam around, put a lot of pressure on towers very quickly. Dota Talk is going to have to be on their toes, looking to TP around a lot, and keep up good communication if they're going to fight this team.
Yeah, they do have a lot of good ability to lock down these heroes as well. I definitely like that. I mean, against a hero like Bounty Hunter and Weaver, as well as even Brewmaster, if you can lock them down before they get all their protection or safety moves off or whatever, then I think they're going to have a lot better time in those team fights. A lot of pings going out. Apparently, peeing requires pinging or something. I don't know if that correlation is true. But, nonetheless, has this always been a faded out color when it's paused?
I don't think so. I was actually noticing that in the last game we did. It looks a little bit different, so they must have patched that in. But something else to notice, too, about the picks in general is there's a lot of late game potential for the Dire team, not so much for the Radiant. I mean, Leshrac can become what you could call a carry, and Enchantress can put up a decent amount of damage with the Impetus. But I think they might have a hard time in the late part of the game trying to keep up with Bounty Hunter and the Weaver, who are just going to be able to do a lot of auto attack damage. Especially with Soul Catcher as well.
Oh yeah, Soul Catcher is just an amazing ability all around. Obviously increasing damage taken by up to 50% on anyone, and you figure if they can get that on either like the Leshrac or the Night Stalker in those team fights, the people who are usually the tankier and more focused down players, that in combination with the minus armor from track is going to really help out. And if they can get a medallion maybe on the Bounty Hunter, to really assist that in the early part, I think that could be substantial. They could even do pretty decently quick Roshan kills with the Chen creeps, the minus armor from the whole team and whatnot. I think it wouldn't be too hard to sneak in maybe around the 15-20 minute mark.
Yeah, it's definitely possible. And this is actually just to point out what I was saying earlier. You look at Shadow Shaman, he was sitting on about 511 health versus the 580 health Night Stalker. So really not all that much more health than the Int hero on this Night Stalker, but he has 5 armor to start with. So that's really where he gets a lot of his tankiness from. And with Weaver and Bounty Hunter, that's going to be lost. We actually Dota Talk looking to invade the Radiant jungle, trying to see if they can find someone out of place. They do have the Bounty Hunter with the Shadow Walk, so he's actually going to run ahead and try and do a little bit of scouting here, although it's only rank 1. So they're going to look to try and catch out this Shadow Shaman. Maybe they notice him. It looks like he notices that they're stalking through the jungle. He's going to back off very quickly, staying safe, not getting himself in any danger there.
Whew, that could have been dangerous if he gets caught off guard there, but they were a little split up in the time, and they just had too much land to cover, and unfortunately none of them have a Blink Dagger quite yet to initiate with, so that was a pretty safe bet for the Shaman. But yeah, they're all spread out here, and it looks like he's going to be supporting bottom, so I guess that would mean Leshrac. What are they going to do here? I'm really interested to see how they decide to lane this. It actually looks like Invoker's going to take the top. That is definitely interesting.
Yeah, I sort of understand that they want to make sure that Night Stalker can get his farm. They want to put him in that middle lane. Actually, are they running Leshrac Night Stalker? That is very, very interesting. So they're going to be running the Shadow Shaman and the Invoker solo. They must have been expecting for Brewmaster to come with a friend middle, and now that he doesn't have one, he is going to be in a lot of trouble. He was obviously expecting to just go up solo against this Night Stalker. Something that wouldn't be that difficult for him to do, but with this Leshrac in the lane, it's going to be very difficult for him to try and get any kind of early farm.
Yeah, I would have to think that, you look at that, Shadow Demon, yeah, definitely has to rotate at this point, because Brewmaster is going to need a lot of assistance against this combo. They have a ton of nuke damage coming out. It's just a lot of trouble overall. And it's going to be Bounty Hunter versus Invoker. I think Bounty Hunter could potentially have a lot of trouble against this Invoker depending on how he builds. So that's also going to be interesting to see. Actually, Enchantress and Chen having kind of a face-off in their own jungle. They probably didn't expect Chen to be aggressive jungling like this, but he is definitely looking to do that.
Yeah, something we actually saw, or at least the last game that I saw, and we can see also in the sort of same token as that game, we have a Dire Ward placed behind the Radiant Tower, so they are very interested in keeping tabs on the pool and being able to put up any early kind of pressure that they can.
Absolutely. Actually, it looks like Chen is now looking around, coming around mid with the Warlord. He's going to probably try to throw a net here. Oh, here we go with the disruption. Here's going to probably follow up a net. No, they get line of sighted. Leshrac with a really great stun. The net still gets off, but Brewmaster's not going to be able to come in time. Really great stun there to stop the Brewmaster before he could land the Thunderclap to really get that going.
Yeah, I mean, 6 armor now in this Night Stalker at the level 2. He's going to be very difficult to bring down, even though they have that Soul Catcher. So unfortunately, that gank fails, and Chen might actually just have to go back into his own jungle. It's going to be really hard for him to contest Enchantress. She's able to keep up a lot more creeps in the early part of the game, so nice that he was maybe able to throw her off a little bit, but he's going to have to go back to the safety of his own jungle and just try and get level 6, get up that global presence.
Absolutely. Meanwhile, Leshrac, Invis sitting around middle, still only level 1 though. But if he can get level 2, get that Edict up, and really get some great initiation on the Brewmaster, they could probably take him out. He's being very aggressive right now, and they actually might look to open this up now. Shadow Demon's still... Okay, he is in range, so he at least can pop a disruption here at this point. But I wonder if they can get the burst damage enough to the point where they can kill this Brewmaster. Here we go with the stun initiation, followed by the slow disruption actually used on his ally to try and prevent any further damage with the Thunderclap. So it's going to actually be more or less an even trade with the Night Stalker and the Brewmaster there.
Yeah, great play by the Shadow Demon. Very smart decision there just to take him out, to give him some illusions to maybe throw off the enemy team, give him at least a second of time to start running away. And we actually see that there's a smoke rotation up into the top lane, and there was a Radiant Ward there, so very nice play being able to have that smoke on them to rotate up, and this Quas Invoker may have a lot of trouble. The Invis by Bounty Hunter, he's going to look to go in here. There goes your disruption on the Shadow Demon. Chen is also up, lands the net. The Janata probably going to get hit by the Bounty Hunter, but nope, it looks like the Ghost Walk already ready to go. He turns invisible, and everyone's going to get away.
Yeah, the only problem with disruption there is it gives you time to think about your next move while you're in it. And he was like, "Oh, okay, I gotta put up my Quas and Wex, and I gotta be able to Ghost Walk immediately after this." And it was enough time because they didn't have the stuns. They didn't have the CC to really keep that going. That they were able to let him escape in that manner.
Look at this bottom lane. Shadow Shaman on 200 health, Weaver on 200 health. They're just beating the crap out of one another. A lot going down there. Unfortunately, no kills yet. Looks like Enchantress might actually try and come down and do what she can, but she only has a Hellcaller. She's not really going to have anything to try and put up any pressure down here with just the Shockwave damage and then the Unholy Aura giving a little bit of health regeneration.
Yeah, I was also interested to see how Bounty Hunter was going to build this.
In the middle lane, they're going to try again. They have the Soul Catcher up. A lot of damage coming out, but here comes the stun by Leshrac, and they're actually going to turn this around. Shadow Demon getting on 5 health. He gets taken out, draws first blood with the Diabolical Edict, and Brewmaster's just going to barely get away. So an early advantage there. The Leshrac, with his haste rune, gets back just in time to lend support to his buddy.
And Shadow Shaman actually picks up the kill against Weaver one-on-one. So fantastic job there as well. It's just a 2-0 early start for them. I mean that Aftershock just does a ton of damage at this point in the game. It's already hitting for 260. He can clear the wave very easily. And obviously Weaver is not the tankiest of heroes off the bat. So, he has to do a better job kind of being a little more cautious and safe and to see how this works. Oh, here comes the disruption possibly. Oh, he's not going to catch the Shadow Shaman on time. He has the boots. He's still going to look to do it though. And actually gets hexed. Really good job there, but now maybe Enchantress is going to be in a little trouble. If here comes a disruption, can they follow this up is the question. We got Shadow Poison coming down, but they don't have any damage to follow it up. Weaver just not able to do anything. He's only level 4, so doesn't have the Swarm or anything to really latch on and do some damage.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just looking at the creep kills, and this poor Mr. Weaver is 4-2 against a 19-8 Shadow Shaman, just getting dominated down there in that lane. Very unfortunate. Like you said, the Ether Shock, it's so easy to keep control of that lane. And, you know, now this poor Shadow Demon, he has to really try and be in all these lanes. Every single one is struggling. And so he has to try and lend the support where he can. But unfortunately, they really haven't been able to get anything to give these heroes that are having such a hard time a decent advantage.
Yeah, Bounty Hunter's the only one that's really having an easy time of it. You know, him and Invoker are pretty much even in the farm, but Bounty Hunter gets just as much farm as Invoker. You might say that's kind of a win in their column because Bounty Hunter, I feel like, scales better throughout the game with his minus armor and whatnot. But actually, looks like Wiz is going to use the heal with the Centaur Con, maybe look to set something up. They have enough mana to maybe get a combo off on someone, but here comes a TP from the Bounty Hunter. Uses his Shadow Walk immediately, hoping that he didn't get seen. Gonna look to maybe open something up here on either an Enchantress or whatnot. They're not sure who they're going to go for. Actually, I think they were spotted. Yes, there is that Sentry Ward, and maybe that was enough vision to say, oh, there's Bounty Hunter. We gotta play it safe.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they actually had the vision. We see Night Stalker actually picks up double damage rune. So he has that bottle, and it is nighttime. He's actually going to come down here, just barely misses Bounty Hunter, who gets a chance to go invisible. But he sees the Night Stalker and is like, everybody, we need to get out. He is down here. He's going to be able to pick up a kill very easily. They know he has that double damage. And now, oh, we had a chicken come out, but not enough. So the Dyers has to play very defensively now. Bounty Hunter is forced to run around the long way. Doesn't appear, there might have been a little vision by the Radiant team of that. But he is actually just going to have to run away. So unfortunate that he came all this way down, not able to pick anything up, losing a lot of golden experience, leaving the Invoker to farm the top lane.
Yeah, it is really unfortunate indeed. Thunderclap actually missing middle on the Night Stalker, so kind of just a waste of mana. Are they going to look to open this up? I don't think they have it, especially with the Thunderclap. They do have the ultimate from Brewmaster, though, if he decides to use it here. But no, they're just kind of baiting it out. Not sure. Maybe they're waiting for Chen to come around with his creeps. A pause comes out from Tux. It looks like Brewmaster actually DC'd, which is maybe part of the problem with trying to set up that initiation. That doesn't necessarily help too much.
Perhaps. Yeah, interesting note, this Invoker is going Quas Wex, so it's really interested in just maintaining his presence in this lane. He's going to have some team fight potential later. And, you know, their team actually is going to look pretty good in those team fights. I mean, just all the damage coming out from Leshrac, Shadow Shaman awards, and then, of course, all of his crowd control. You know, he's a great hero that we unfortunately don't see a whole lot these days in the professional scene.
Yeah, I'm just curious, though, about not going extra this game. He's been in the top lane. He hasn't rotated for anything yet. And you'd think if you're planning on staying there for a while of the game, Exort would be more ideal because you could be at least involved in team fights with Sunstrike to some kind of degree, as well as if you can get your Forge Spirits out, you can push the lane that much easier, as well as getting, of course, the auto attack damage. So all around, I thought maybe it would be a better choice, but apparently he decides he'd rather go with the Quas Wex and just be ready to do a bunch of AoE damage at a moment's notice.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, I definitely agree with at least putting 1 point in the Wex, just so you do have the ability to turn invisible and walk away. That's definitely important. So, you know, it's like if you were still trying to max Quas to get the ability to stay in the lane, at this point, he really only have 1 point in the Exort, so I guess I can understand. Actually, some initiation here in the middle. Big damage coming out on the Bounty Hunter, but they're going to be able to pick up this Leshrac first, but it will be a trade 1-for-1. The Bounty Hunter also going down, unfortunate. And Night Stalker's like, wait a minute, double damage, nighttime, I got this. Let me pick up another kill, and he's going to get away to safety. Unfortunately, the Chen teleport taking too much time at this point in the game. The ultimate drop by the Night Stalker. He already has the level 1, very interesting note. And it actually looks like Chen might go down here. It looks like the Cold Snap and the Exort damage is going to be good enough. They're going to pick up another kill, 5-1 now.
Oof, really great. I'm glad he TP'd in for that. It really helped out because he landed the Tornado and able to Cold Snap right after that, doing just tons of damage and CCing.
At the bottom, Enchantress actually doing a ton of damage to the Shadow Demon. Gets the Dispersion, so he will not actually die. Good for him. Shadow Shaman actually pushing up. They're going to try and go in on this Weaver. He pops the ultimate to try and get out, but he's so low. He now has the Shibupi up again. He can use it. He doesn't have the dust on him, but he decides to save it. Wants some mana because he actually wants to try and maybe go back in here and do some more damage to this Enchantress, who is Soul Catcher, but they're not going to have enough. 4 heroes down bottom for the Dire. The Radiant are actually looking to cycle down. They're going to try and come down here and pick up some more kills to further their advantage. Night Stalker running in off the side. It is still nighttime. It is still his time to shine. He drops the nuke on to the Shadow Demon, who disrupts himself out. He's going to walk away, be okay for the time being, but a lot of heroes down here for both teams. And actually, it looks like Bounty Hunter won't be here for this engagement, but Shadow Shaman is looking to come down here to make it a 5v4.
Yeah, true. And the Mountain Hunter's not the quickest pusher. He doesn't have great, lane clearing potential or high damage at this point. So he's going to do his best to auto attack, but really there's only so much he can do. In the meantime, I feel like the Radiant can put a ton of pressure. It's still nighttime, mind you. And that Night Stalker's still really powerful at this point. Tornado comes out, actually going to land on the Shadow Demon. Holy moly, that was close. What a snipe from him.
Yeah, see, this is the thing. I mentioned earlier that the Radiant team was rotating down, but they actually probably could have just stayed mid and killed that tower to further their advantage. Unfortunately, they do not. But it actually looks like bottom. They might try and pick up a kill here. Still, the Dire team looking to try and make something happen. Chen comes down, the Bounty Hunter down as well, and so is Weaver. All their invisibility here in this bottom lane. The track goes up, and actually here comes the Brewmaster. He's going to help pick up a kill on the Enchantress. The track was not up, unfortunately. It's on this Shadow Shaman, who is in a lot of danger. He's actually catching a ton of damage, and they will now pick that one up. 3 heroes getting that track bonus, so there's a nice little swing towards the Dire team. Definitely needed.
Yeah, that was really helpful, and they're definitely going to look to push this now. They have the Chen creeps up with all the little skeletons and everything. Brewmaster's here to do his Thunderclap to clear the wave out, and I think they're going to have enough damage here to just really finish this off, unless we see some quick TPs or support coming in, and they're not looking interested, honestly. They look like they're just going to let this one go, maybe try to take top in the meantime. You see Leshrac and Invoker here. Leshrac, if he pops that Edict, is going to easily do enough damage to take this tower, and it's only a level 4 Shadow Shaman who's now in a lot of trouble. Going to disrupt the enemy, but maybe that would have been a lot better off disrupting himself at that point. He is going to fall. And now that Edict is going to be just hitting creeps instead of the tower. A TP comes in. Who is that going to be? Very important. It's going to be a Brewmaster. That is not going to be a killing blow for anyone.
Yeah, unfortunately the Dire still wind up getting the short end of the stick there. They did get the kill advantage there at the bottom, but they lost their middle tower. They took bottom tower, but then they lost a hero at the top lane. So, a little bit of back and forth there, still going in the favor of the Radiant. We actually check out the graphs here. It looks like it's actually just starting to dip towards the Dire. Just a 2,000 gold advantage, and on the experience, a 3,000 advantage. So, not huge anyway, but actually in the top lane, Brewmaster getting caught here. He's walking into those trees, and now he's stuck. He's not going to be able to get out. The double damage on the Night Stalker. He's actually disrupted right now. Soul Catcher as well. They're trying to take him out. The big Thunderclap is going to take him out. Brewmaster getting very low. It's going to just barely survive the Bounty Hunter coming up to help pick up a kill. He's actually looking to go for drums. Interesting note. But in the bottom lane, they actually lose the tower to all that push from the Shadow Shaman and the Enchantress. The wards were dropped, though, so they're not going to have that to push. And the Dire actually look like they might try and stay up in that top lane. We don't know. But in the middle, actually, Weaver getting initiated on here. He's going to be just fine with that invisibility. Interesting that nobody's coming down. They actually want to trade a Tier 1 tower for a Tier 2. I don't know if that's such a great decision.
I don't like it either. You knew Shadow Shaman already used his ultimate, so all he has is his pure Ether Rocket. Actually, here comes the Weaver, but he is not going to be nearly enough by himself. He could try to deny, which is what he's going to do, but there's going to be a Hex to come out soon. And yeah, they're going to get another free tower here. That's a Tier 2, like you said. For a Tier 1, not really worth it, and they might try to keep this push going. Actually, it looks like they are, but they're going to be held to some heavy resistance here by both the Night Stalker and the Leshrac.
Yeah, this is what they have to do, though, if they're going to try and justify losing a Tier 2 tower. And actually, they might actually lose their Weaver in the top lane. The dust has been popped. All the CC coming out. There actually aren't any points in the Impetus on the Enchantress. She's just barely not level 6. So they're not going to have the damage to take him out through all that. But, yeah, so at the end of the day, it just winds up being a Tier 1 for Tier 2 trade. Certainly an advantage for the Radiant as they get some extra vision.
Yeah, the poor Shadow Shaman was 5 mana off his Ether Shock to try to finish off the Weaver, so just didn't have it in time. Good try, though, on the kill. Now they're swinging the middle. I think they want to push yet another tower. Definitely would be a smart choice to try to make some gold back from losing that Tier 2. But do they have the power is the question. Chen ult is now up in 3 seconds, and he's already got the buckler, so looking to get that mech really quick for this pushing strategy. Definitely a good idea here. We see them grouping up in middle. Bounty Hunter's behind them, uses a track really quickly on the Shadow Shaman to keep the vision up. It is daytime, which is very important to note. With 20 seconds on that Night Stalker ult, he's not going to do nearly as much in this fight as he would like to.
Yeah, it is actually really interesting to note that the Night Stalker looked to go for his level 1 ultimate. People tend to wait that one out and try to wait till level 10 and 11 to pick those up because it's really not all that huge of a duration until you go for the level 2 But he does have that. It is coming up in 4 seconds. Like you noted, it looks like the Dire getting pushed back a little bit here. No reason to fight in this middle lane, especially when you consider that their Brewmaster is up at the top lane looking to try and get whatever farm he can. Bounty Hunter now coming in from behind. He has to be very careful. There aren't any wards to watch that. Oh, actually there was. I'm sorry. There is a sentry ward here at middle, so he has to be very careful as the Radiant looks to come in here. There actually might be able to pick up a kill on the Shadow Demon. Catches the stun, catches the tornado, catches the EMP. He goes down immediately. Brewmaster comes in with the ultimate. He's actually trying to pick up the Shadow Shaman who's getting chased down. Now the track on the Leshrac. But looks like they're going to try and just break off here. They're actually going to try and continue on the Shadow Shaman, who drops his wards. Bounty Hunter getting very low, gets picked off, but the Brewmaster will pick up an ultimate with that Thunderclap. Shadow Shaman buys right back in the game. Look, he's trying to get back into the mix, or he's going to go bottom, apparently. Chen ports out a friend, but he is going to die to all this damage coming out from the Radiant team. A double kill for Leshrac.
And now they're going to look to pick off Chen's minions. One falls, 77 gold, and now they're going to just push this tier 2, and there's not much the Dire can do about it. I mean, they have the Diabolic Edict going, doing holy moly, tons of damage here. Protection could be used, but I don't know for what reason, because they're still going to get this tower either way. Just try and maybe slow them up a little bit until they get some respawns, and that's going to be the follow there. And Weaver just went right to top, like you said afterwards, looking like he's going for a quick Lincoln Sphere in this game.
I think a strong decision there. I mean, Cold Snap, you have the Void from Night Stalker, and then all the CC from Shadow Shaman. So definitely not a bad decision. Getting all those stats, getting a little bit tankier and important. But now he's going to have to put that Perseverance to work. Unfortunately, not giving him any extra stats. But he's going to have to try and survive up here. He does notice that he's in a little bit of trouble. He will sit behind this tower. No TP, though, so he's just going to have to wait up here for his team to rotate up to defend this tower, which now has 150 health. It's going to be very difficult to contest this.
Yeah, Chennault's still down for 25 seconds, but it's going to be daytime for the rest of this team fight, because Night Stalker already used his ultimate in the last one, so, you know, he's going to be a lot weaker. Oh, look at this EMP Tornado. Going to do so much damage to that team. It's 3 heroes. Wonderful job. Initiation now Enchantress. Bounty Hunter's in a lot of trouble. Going to use his magic wand and stay alive. Thunderclap hits 3 heroes as well. Another good job. But it looks like Beastmaster is going to now be in a lot of trouble. Trying to use the bottle to survive. He's going to survive just barely for now. But now he falls on Night Stalker Void. Really good job there. Now he's going on this Shadow Demon in a lot of trouble. Really great channel to keep him alive. Ken Night Stalker, he does get the kill, but he's still getting chased down with that track. And he's actually going to survive as well. Weaver's in the back trying to do as much as he can. Here comes the EMP, though. Going to land, draining all of his mana completely. Now Weaver's in a lot of trouble, and he's going to fall into the tornado damage. Beautifully played there by the Invoker, but can they kill? Yes, they can. The Shriek Toss is going to finish him off. Invoker has a Force Staff. Getting chased down, though. Still has the track. The TP comes in. This is way too far, and they're going to fall back. Ched actually uses the Test of Faith to get the kill. You don't see that every day. And now Enchantress comes in with the Wisp. It's 2-on-1. Oh, no, 3-on-2. Excuse me, the TP is coming in, and it looks like Bounty Hunter gets TP'd out. Beautifully played by Chen, and that's going to be the death of him.
That was beautiful play on both sides of the board. I mean, just knowing when that support was going to be there, and then, of course, at the very end there, a great port by Chen. Bounty Hunter really making the most of that ultimate, trying to pick up as many kills with it as he possibly can. He has picked up the Drums of Endurance, so a nice team fight component for his side of the board, but now they're going to lose this Tier 1 tower, and we are going to have a greater advantage for the Radiant, now sitting on about a 7,000 gold lead after this tower goes down here. And looking at the experience graph as well, it appears that they're sitting on a 4,000 lead. And now, you know, just the Dire team are losing all of their vision. They have one Tier 2 tower left, and that might only be for another moment as a push looks to come here. Shadow Shaman ultimate is up. They're certainly going to be able to push this if they want to, and the Dire side are not even going to contest it.
Another Tier 2 tower falls. That's actually the last one there for the Dire. So they are out of towers and running out of time. I mean, they really need to get their act together for these team fights. And unfortunately for them, if you look at their lineup, they don't really have that team fight presence like the Radiant does. I mean, they have a lot of great individual heroes, such as Brewmaster, such as Weaver, such as Bounty Hunter. But all together against the Radiant, I just don't know if they have enough damage or enough CC, you know, combined to really take down the people they need to take down in these fights.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head there and just saying that they don't have the CC. I mean, they have a slow, they have a disruption, but they don't have a single stun on their side of the board. They don't have anything close to what the Dire have in the Shadow Shaman and in the Invoker. They just completely outclass them when it comes to the crowd control. And actually, it looks like the Radiant team may be interested in Roshan. Invoker's sitting there. He actually is just looking to buy from the shop, picks up a point booster, so he's going to be looking for his Aghanim Scepter, picks up an invisibility rune, so it looks like he's probably going to be running around trying to do a little bit of scouting, see if he can catch some of this Dire squad off.
Yeah, good smoke up by them. They're looking to pick someone off, but the Dire is playing very cautiously at this point. Actually, Weaver really far from home. You see that little drawing on the map from yellow. They know the path they want to take. They still have a smoke up on a couple heroes, and they actually are predicting it right. Oh, the Dire, please tell me you are not going to start this kill on Roshan. No, they are, and this could be super dangerous for them. They have no idea. The smoked Radiant's coming on the corner. Here they go. They come out of the smoke. Night Stalker now around the corner. A ping comes out. They are now caught out. Who are they going to go on? Looks like Enchantress actually disrupted off the bat. Weaver's in a heck of a lot of trouble, but great tornado going to hit 3 or 4 here. Chen gets his ult off. Bounty Hunter picks off the Enchantress right away. Chen is going to fall immediately, but here we go. Nighttime. Night Stalker looking to do as much as he can to this Weaver. He is going to possibly fall. Yes, he does. But in the meantime, Shadow Shaman also is going to drop. Bounty Hunter now in a lot of trouble, getting chased down by the Force Staff. Bounty Hunter, he is going to drop as well. Blink Dagger bought on the Brewmaster, and he's going to TP out to safety, but that is still at the end of the day a 3-for-2 trade. Shadow Shaman, of course, buying back.
Yeah, they're getting a little bit closer, and the buyback certainly helped. I mean, Shadow Shaman really is only going to come down here to help ensure that they can pick up the Roshan. If they do that, there's definitely going to be in trouble. You know, that's actually a pretty smart decision by the Radiant team to purchase that buyback to ensure that they're going to be able to contest this. Only Brewmaster and the Shadow Demon up for the moment. On Chen just coming up now, but they're not going to be able to get there in time, especially when you consider how much damage the Radiant team are able to do to Roshan.
Wow, that was just unfortunate circumstances for them. I love the idea they did the smoke Roshan so they wouldn't be spotted out, but it looked like the Radiant were just right under their noses. They had an idea that might be going on, and sure enough, you know, they got caught out, and they killed the Enchantress quickly, but it was nighttime for Night Stalker, and he has that gem, a really quick gem, as well as a BKB, so really easily able to spot out both the Weaver and the Bounty Hunter.
Yeah, just another great decision. I mean, they've already limited the Dire to very little vision, taking out all those towers, so now we'll pick up a gem on the tanky hero, the Night Stalker, and ensure that they don't even get the ward site. You know, that I think is a big part of why that Roshan went so poorly. The Dire team didn't have any wards keeping track on where the Radiant team was moving.
Yeah, exactly. Wards are super important in this game. They only have the one up right now. It's going to be, of course, checking out their jungle. You know, they're going to be really afraid of ganks at this point. They've seen a lot of smokes already used in this game, as well as a Night Stalker. You just always have to fear him during this nighttime. But no, seriously, you do. Shadow Shaman has the track down on him. You know, so they have the vision up the street. I don't know why I was going to say it like that, but they do see him. But Enchantress, in the meantime, did drop that Sentry Ward in the middle, you know, looking to try to catch him out. She has a mech as well. So, you know, they have that T-Fight potential on their side, you know, to counter out Chen's heal, I suppose. Here comes the MP. They do catch out the Bounty Hunter. He is in a lot of trouble. Chen uses the ult. Actually, Bounty Hunter's going to survive, and you get TP'd out by Chen. And now Chen's going to pay for it with his life. And now Night Stalker's looking to chase down as many heroes as he can. It is nighttime, and it looks like they're going to escape, actually. But Chen falling for that and having to use his ult.
Yeah, I mean, just like having these two Invis heroes, neither of them particularly do much other than damage. I mean, obviously you have like the slow and the minus armor, and the track is great and all, but none of them are able to really do anything now that they don't have any farm. And as you can see, they actually just get picked up by the tornado. Night Stalker wants to try and make something happen, but he's just going to go back, turn around, and take this tower. There's no counter push to really try and handle the Leshrac and the Shadow Shaman and the Enchantress. So, and they weren't able to get any kind of an early advantage to try and get their Bounty Hunter and Weaver off the ground.
Yeah, this is going to be an easy laying down. Now Shadow Team been going all in. It's smarter maybe to fall back. The TP in from Shadow Shaman. EMP used defensively. Going to drain pretty much all of Chen's mana at this point. And who's behind enemy lines? It looks like Brewmaster blinked in, but wasn't able to do much after that. Didn't get his ulti off like he probably planned. Now the initiative goes off. Ice Wall down. Chen looking to do as much as he can. But Night Stalker in the meantime kills his Shadow Demon, as well as Chen falling to the Invoker. Are they going to survive? Yes, I mean, they still have the Aegis up on Night Stalker as well, so not afraid to dive. It looks like WPGG. Okay, game looks like it's going to be called.
Yeah, very well played by the Radiant side of the board. And, you know, you can never really say game over at picks, but it certainly didn't help that they were kind of putting all their eggs in the basket of late game Invis heroes on the Dire side. But, you know, very well played by them as well, trying to make the best of the situation. So there you have it. I guess we'll wait around for the final stats screen before we sign off here. But I mean, what would you think of that game in general?
I think they get outpicked, like you said. The lack of CC really hurt them, and they just got pushed early. They didn't have an answer for this lineup, and we saw the Leshrac, the Enchantress, the Evoker, the Shadow Shaman. I mean, just all these amazing pushing heroes, just able to do so much together. And really, you know, like you said, if you don't have a way to clear out the waves or to stop that push, then you're going to get shut down early.
Yeah, I mean, like you were mentioning at the very beginning of this game, how Chen was sort of one of those heroes that was really important in the international. Weaver sort of was too, and you know, he really started to fall off once you had teams picking heroes like Leshrac who can push really quickly. I mean, you know, he takes way too long to ramp up, and I mean, you can see right now, if he was even trying to go for Radiance, he would have just enough money for the relic, maybe a little bit more than that, but certainly wouldn't even have that first big item to try and make something happen. And even if he just had the Radiance, that's still not going to be enough to hold off the Leshrac and the Shadow Shaman wards.
Absolutely. So GG's all around. Thanks for watching, I guess, the Dota Talk versus Unknown Number 3. Unknown Number 3 takes it for the grand victory. You know, well played by both teams, I guess. But stick around. We're going to come back up after I shut this down to record the video. Probably come up in a little bit to hopefully be on track for another game to come up shortly. So stay tuned, and we'll catch you guys later.